Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 25th of February 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Universal Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Thursday and what's coming up for you. We've got Temperance, the Moon, and the Seven of Cups. Okay. Temperance is about purification and balance. So we've got this angel coming down. It's got the wings. So there's a sense of the divine. You may feel like something bigger is watching out for you and supporting you. It fills you with a sense of control, both over your practical circumstances and your emotional life. So neither is really going to demand all of your attention on this day. That means you can be really, really productive. You can do some inner work if you choose. You can also do work in the home or in your career or in your relationships, or you can exercise to improve your health. You've really got a good grip and a good handle on all of that. And if you find that you're doing something new on this day in any one of those areas, so if you suddenly find yourself interested in woodworking and you start watching YouTube videos on woodworking and you just don't know where that come from, but it came from somewhere, you can rest assured that that is just the beginning of a whole new journey that's going to lead to somewhere positive. So when you feel in control today, and when you're doing something new that really motivates you and excites you, you can really take that as a sure sign that this is the beginning of something new and worthwhile that you ought to pursue. If you've got anything to do today that's daunting or that makes you feel frightened, which is what this card is about, then remember to ask for help from other people, to ask yourself for support, and to use this emotional balance that you've got, and to ask anything or anyone else who has your best interests in mind to help and support you. And for some people, they connect with a higher power. Some people go with their gut feeling. Some people rely on their family completely. It's whatever gives you a sense of support. You're not going to find it extremely difficult to reach out and to ask for help. It's really going to make a big difference. So if there is something that's daunting or overwhelming, you don't have to face it alone. The Moon card, we've got this angry moon looking down. We've got these Great Danes looking kind of grey in the moonlight, and these two imposing towers there and the lobster. It all seems very imposing and quite scary. So imagine you're walking around here and you've got this feeling like something is about to emerge that's going to frighten you. Or if you don't watch out and if you're not quick enough, some kind of beast is going to attack you and bark at you. Then you pass these towers, so you may feel like you've made progress, but then the people up here, you're totally vulnerable and exposed to negativity, to criticism. So the emotional balance is great, but what may feel magnified is the opinion of other people, the judgment of other people. Certain situations which may be threatening may seem more threatening than they usually are, and situations that haven't happened yet, so dreadful things that could occur. You know, when we play those forward in our minds, like if you get something wrong in your job and then you're like, oh, and then the boss is going to find out and he's going to tell head group, and then it's all going to go wrong and I'll be out of a job and on the street, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. If you're susceptible to any of those things, really pay attention to them, because they will seem bigger and they will create an emotional response in you. So it's good to be forewarned, because when those things come in, or if they come in, you can deal with them and you don't have to react. You don't have to be hooked into that emotion, and you can just let it go in and out and say, that's fine, thank you for sharing, but I'm moving on. I'm moving ahead. So the amazing thing on this day is the amount of control that you've got. The other amazing thing is this magnification of the emotions, but that's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, it can be a little bit intimidating like this, and it can put you off, causing you to feel the need for help and support. But on the other hand, it really gives you a clear insight into what you want in your life and which enlightened, happy place you actually want to set off to. So I mentioned the example of someone discovering a new hobby, but what if you, on a much more fundamental level, realize that all you care about in life is money? And without judgment and other people's disapproval, that may be right for you. You know, some people may care about security and children and grandchildren and wisdom and power and fame and victory and success. But for you, you may not care about family relationships. And everyone may say you're really weird and cold-hearted for being like that. And you've tried to pretend that it matters to you because you want to fit in. But at the end of the day, all you care about is money. Then don't judge yourself and say, that is important to me. And rather than flogging myself about being materialistic, let me just say, fine, all I care about is money. Then let's go actually find a way of fulfilling that need. And maybe once I've ticked that off my list, then maybe it will just so happen that I do care about family, or I do care about being a powerful player in the media, or whatever it may be. You know, just because you care about certain things, it doesn't mean they're bad or good, or you may have a response and a judgmental response to some of the things you like. And that's where the judgment is a little bit more, well, quite a bit closer to home. Because let's say all I'm interested in is wisdom, okay, and learning everything about a particular area. So I'm going to neglect work and health and relationships and forsake everything else because of this one interest. Then that is going to be something that may make you sad and say, okay, well, that seems a little bit obsessive of me to just be interested in one thing and to cut everything out for the sake of this one thing. But then it's either you accept that about yourself, or you say, I'm not going to accept it and I'm going to find happiness in other areas. And what I'm saying today is that because of this control and balance you've got internally, you're really able to see what is unapologetically important to you and what is your truth, no one else's. And you're able to resist any kind of judgments or moral outrage, especially when it comes to you. And that in itself is really liberating, because you, for the first time maybe, you can be really honest with yourself and say, okay, well, I don't actually have any interest in this. All I care about is the castle on top of the hill. And that in itself can be quite frightening. You do feel supported, you are in control. So if you feel like there are skeletons in the closet when it comes to you and your life, then that is not a nice feeling, and that's not a feeling you have to walk around with. In the recovery meetings, they do the 12 steps, and the fourth step is about taking a personal inventory of yourself, and you have different kind of categories, the way I did it anyway. It was about things you're afraid of, and things where you have resentments, and people you've harmed. And then you go through, you make a list and you go through all of those things. And it really, if you do a thorough inventory, you really get to know yourself. And once you've got all of that stuff out there, there's nothing where you have to feel like this monster is going to come out from within you and it's going to sabotage you and make you feel terrible or ashamed of yourself. You discover everything there is, you see it for what it is, and in the recovery program, you share it with another person, and that tends to equalize it. You know, if you tell someone your deepest, darkest secrets and your worst behavior, and they're like, oh yeah, I heard that one before, it just kind of, it doesn't make it okay, but it just takes some of the shame out of it, because you realize that, oh, okay, I'm not that special. Other people have also done this. It's not the end of the world. It just puts things into perspective. And today, the amazing perspective that you get is about some sort of truth about you and who you are. And that takes the fear out of your journey. which is so powerful. We've got 14 and 7 is 21. And then we've got 18. That's 39, isn't it? No, 49. My number brain isn't working today. Yeah, 15 and 15 is 30. So 29 and then 3 is 32 and 7 is 39. Yeah. So 3 and 9 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. And 3 is about communication and new beginnings. So this internal dialogue, which reveals the truth, sets you on a new path. And it also fuels this new journey and this new adventure, because that revelation or that energy of something coming to a conclusion and being revealed, that is energizing to you and it propels you forward. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order a reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day and I'll speak to you tomorrow.